This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's 5 o'clock on your Monday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Here's what's making headlines on this July 13th. For the first time in 17 years, a man will be put to death in a federal execution. Daniel Lewis Lee is a white supremacist and a murderer, and he'll be killed under the death penalty in Terre Haute today, but it was almost delayed. We're live from the Federal Corrections Complex with the latest. And nearly a dozen people have been killed after another violent weekend here in Indianapolis. How religious leaders are pushing the community to unite for change. And now that masks are mandatory in Marion County, the Red Cross needs to make thousands more. What you can do to help them reach their goal. But first, we do need to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by from home. And Todd, I guess today is the day to get out there.
Yeah, you know, if you didn't have the chance to do it over the weekend for whatever reason, especially yesterday, I know Saturday we had more in the way of storms in the afternoon. We're carrying this nice weather over into today's forecast, and that's the good news as we kick off this new work week. So what do you need to grab before you go this morning? Well, have the sunglasses. Everybody will need those. You do not need the umbrella, and obviously sunscreen and water with the warmer temperatures. And the bright sunny skies are definitely going to be two things that you do need. But look at these temperatures this morning. Really comfortable. 60 in Lafayette, 62 in Indianapolis, Bloomington at 63 degrees. The skies are clear. Should be a beautiful sunrise, which will take place as we get closer to the 6:30 hour. And all across the Midwest, high pressure is building in, and that means lots of sunshine in the forecast for you throughout the entire day today. And the temperatures will slowly and steadily climb from the 60s to the 70s up into the mid-80s with low humidity for your afternoon highs. The changes arrive by midweek with the heat and humidity and storm chances returning. More on that coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here's a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this Monday. This is on the south side, I-65 and I-465, where traffic is traveling up to speed. Now, a heads up to south side drivers. If you normally take I-65 northbound as part of your commute from the Southport area, we do have the on-ramp from Southport Road to northbound I-65 closed for road construction. That is set to last through November, so a long-term closure in that area. So if I were you, Emerson Avenue is really close to that on-ramp area. I would take Emerson Avenue northbound all the way up to the Beech Grove area, get on I-465, then from there you can move over to I-65 and reroute, use that as part of your commute. So keep that in mind. That is a long-term ramp closure. At 5:02, the first federal execution in nearly 2 decades will happen today out in Terre Haute. Our Alyssa Donovan is live there this morning with the details on the execution and how it almost didn't happen. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. And the man who will be put to death today by lethal injection is Daniel Lewis Lee. He was convicted in 1996 of killing a family of 3 in Arkansas. And family members of those victims say they're happy that it's happening, but the timing is frustrating. Family members of the victims of 47-year-old Daniel Lewis Lee sued the Justice Department, arguing they could not safely travel to witness the execution due to the coronavirus pandemic. Execution plans were suspended late Friday, but the U.S. Court of Appeals put it back on track. Lee will be put to death at 4 this afternoon.
We've been asking for this all along, but then to do this right now when it is so unsafe feels like a slap in the face to our family.
Lee is one of 4 executions scheduled at the Terre Haute Federal Corrections Complex. 2 other men are set to be put to death this week. Another execution is scheduled for August. And according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, they say that people coming to view the execution, witnesses rather, they will be having their temperatures checked as they walk in. They'll also have to wear masks. However, family members of the victims say that they were also told they will not be able to social distance while inside the prison. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. It is 5:04, and we are working to learn more this morning about a shooting that left 1 man dead on Indy's west side. Officers heard the sound of gunshots around 9:20 last night on Harding Street near Riverside Park. There they found a man suffering from gunshot wounds and took him to the hospital where he later died. Police are still looking for a suspect and ask anyone with any information to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. And at 5:04, faith leaders are calling on everyone to help reduce violence here in Indianapolis. It's a call to action that they hope will ultimately save lives. 119 people have been killed in homicide so far this year. Faith leaders say that they're using the urgency of the moment right now to bring solutions to the table. The mother of Chris Beatty, who was killed during the downtown protests back in May, was at the press conference. The director of Peace in the Streets used his case as an example as well, and the cases of 2 young people killed by stray bullets as a push to encourage people to get involved in the solutions that they're bringing to the table.
The conversations that we have had and the pain and the anguish that she is feeling, and so many people who knew Chris and the great work that he did in our community, we don't want to see another Chris. We don't want to see another Naya. We don't want to see another Roderick. We don't want to see any of it. It is up to us to help our communities, and most importantly, hold each other accountable.
Well, these are the 5 points that they're proposing. First, clergy and community leaders want to meet with IMPD Chief Randall Taylor and Mayor Joe Hogsett to discuss his safety plan with 25 recommendations. Second, they're calling on neighborhood groups, community centers, and faith-based groups to create violence-free zones in those hot spots. Third, they plan to hold weekly public safety walks in those areas, and they want everyone to join in. The first one will be this Thursday in Hawville. Fourth, launching the Peace in the Streets marketing campaign, and finally asking religious organizations to promote peace in worship services during the month of August. At 5:06 now to the latest on the COVID-19 outbreak here in the state of Indiana. More than 1,300 new cases of the virus were reported over the weekend. The Indiana State Department of Health reported 793 new cases Saturday, 560 on Sunday. That brings the total number of cases to more than 51,000. While the number of cases are increasing, the number of deaths remain low in our state. Saturday reported 8 new deaths, and Sunday 4 were confirmed. More than 2,500 Hoosiers have died since the pandemic began, and so far 564,000 people have been tested for the virus. This evening, Indianapolis Public Schools will host a virtual town hall to discuss its back-to-school plan with families and community members. If you'd like to join, you must register for a Zoom event ahead of time, and space is limited to 5,000 participants. The meeting starts at 6:30. It will also be live streamed on the IPS Facebook page. IPS Superintendent Alicia Johnson and school district leaders will be available for questions. Marion County Public Health Department Director Dr. Virginia Kane will also join the discussion on Friday. IPS announced that classes will resume in person and online on August 3rd. At school, students and teachers will have to wear masks. Students will get 1 free mask from their school and get mask breaks during the day. Families wanting to use the remote learning option should fill out an application by this Friday, July 17th. Well, the Rebound Indiana is showing you how groups are helping Hoosiers in need as the pandemic continues. The organization Faith, Hope, and Love Community opened a drive-through pantry back in May at a former Starbucks on 82nd Street in Castleton. We followed up with the group, who says since then the pantry has served more than 300 families. Community leaders toured the facility and celebrated the pantry's success so far.
It's important that people and the community come together. We call this place a food pantry by the community for the community. That means that the success of this depends not just on one organization, it depends on the community.
Well, you're asked to call before going to the pantry. That number is 463-210-4612. You can find more information about the Faith, Hope, and Love community organizations and the pantry right now on our website, theindychannel.com. The Indiana Red Cross is calling on volunteers to help sew and distribute face masks and face coverings during the pandemic. In the last 6 to 7 weeks, they've already distributed 8,000 face coverings. But over the next 6 to 8 months, their goal is to have volunteers sew 15,000 masks that will then be distributed to child care, senior, and veteran care services throughout our state.
Everybody wants to help. We all want to make others' lives better, and this is really a really cool way to do that, because these face coverings are so important. In fact, they're so important that the mayor of Indianapolis says everybody's going to wear a face covering, and so they're really important. These face coverings really do help prevent the transmission of COVID-19, and so it's an important thing.
The Indiana Red Cross says even those who cannot sew can help because there are many steps to make this effort possible, including ironing, cutting out patterns, and disinfecting the face coverings and packages. We have a link to how you can get involved on the RTV6 News app. Here at 5:10, let's check in with Todd and see what we can expect in our Monday forecast. Hey, Todd.
Yeah, Lauren, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. A near perfect midsummer day in store for us here across the area today with lots of sunshine and seasonable temperatures. And best of all, the humidity is low as well. So we're getting you going this morning with temperatures that are in the 60s. So it's very, very comfortable to start. In fact, some of you are in the 50s this morning, and we'll stay in the 60s throughout the morning commute. If you do have to commute, maybe you're just getting out for a run this morning, you are in tip-top shape. Satellite radar picture is nice and quiet. No threat of any rain in the forecast for the day today. And high temperatures today that'll be climbing up into the low 80s all across the area and mid 80s for some of you as you work your way down to the south. Take advantage of today, and tomorrow's another good day as well before we start to see the return of the heat, humidity, and the chance of storms. In fact, some of the storms Wednesday late into the early Thursday will have the potential to be strong to severe. We'll talk more about that for you coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. Fire crews in Southern California still battling a fire this morning after an explosion on a Navy warship. Coming up, why officials say it could take days to put out, and the latest on the cause. And researchers have found a way for kids to test themselves for COVID-19. Still ahead, why they say this could improve testing and reduce cost as the school year approaches. It's 5:11. We'll be right back after this short break.
Best of Best tonight on ABC.
Welcome back. The time right now is 5:14. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads right now. This is I-65, a view all the way up in Lebanon this morning where traffic is moving along up to speed. Just a heads up, we still have ongoing road construction on the on-ramp from US 52 to southbound I-65. That is closed for reconstruction. We also have the off-ramp from northbound I-65 to US 52 closed for that construction project. That work is set to be complete by the end of October, so some long-term projects up in that area as well. Here's a view at State Road 32, and everything's traveling smoothly. While in Southern California, a Navy warship is still burning this morning. The USS Bonhomme Richard suffered heavy damage in yesterday morning's explosion, and it doesn't look like the battle against the flames is going to be over anytime soon. ABC's Megan Tavrizian has the latest.
This morning, a Navy ship still smoldering, nearly 24 hours after an explosion rocked the military vessel at the Navy's biggest base on the West Coast.
A fire was reported in the lower vehicle storage area on board Bonhomme Richard.
The explosion aboard the USS Bonhomme Richard, injuring at least 21 people, including 18 sailors at Naval Base San Diego. 160 sailors were on board at the time of the explosion.
Ashy fire. There's nothing toxic in there. It's just black smoke, and nowhere now because we're doing a firefighting agent. You're starting to see more whiter smoke, which is a good sign that the fire's being maintained.
There's heavy smoke showing from a large military vessel under construction.
The flames sending a huge plume of dark smoke visible around San Diego. Sailors aboard the Navy ship in fire gear rushing to battle the fire. Tugboats surrounding the amphibious assault ship, spraying water from afar. 3 teams of federal firefighters and 2 Navy teams have been back on the ship, but they can only stay on board for 15 minutes at a time, then rotate out because it is too hot. This morning, the Navy telling ABC News the extent of the damage to the ship is, quote, huge, adding the fire will likely burn for days.
Here's a good look at the Bonhomme Richard. It has been burning for hours. You can smell the smoke and see it for miles away. This plume of smoke can be seen up to 5 miles from where we are right now at Naval Base San Diego.
And with the ship loaded with fuel, the concern that nearby military vessels could be in danger from more potential explosions. The Navy now moving neighboring ships, the USS Fitzgerald and USS Russell. This morning, the cause of the explosion is still unknown. The ship was undergoing routine maintenance when it happened. Its last deployment was in 2018. Megan Tavrizian, ABC News, San Diego.
At 5:17, kids are learning to do coronavirus testing on themselves, which could cut PPE costs for schools. It's all part of an ongoing study at 2 San Francisco summer camps. The tests are a little bit different. They use the same swab, but instead of pushing it deep into the nose, kids are just asked to swipe around the inside of the nostril. Researchers say the kids doing their own swabs allows for more physical distancing and therefore less need of PPE. At 5:17, let's toss things over to Todd at home to see what we can expect in our Monday forecast. Hey, TK.
Yeah, good morning, Lauren. Happy Monday to you and everybody. Last Monday, we were talking about how we were going to be in the 90s each and every day this week with high humidity. Well, today we're talking about the best day of the week, very comfortable weather. And then going forward in this forecast, we are going to start to see the heat and humidity return by the end of the week. So enjoy today. As I mentioned, it's the best day of the week. Sunny, 85, low humidity. Can't really beat it here in the middle of July on July the 13th. And that heat and humidity by Wednesday, we're starting to bring back the chance of storms, and following the storm chance will come the heat and the humidity returning. Outside right now, it's a beautiful start to our day. The temperatures are very, very comfortable, and the skies, they'll start to brighten in just about hour or so. Sunrise officially is at 6:29 this morning. 59 in Greenfield as well as Tipton, 60 in Martinsville, Bloomington at 63 degrees, Lafayette is right at 60. So it's a great start to our day, and these temperatures are just going to start to climb slowly and steadily throughout the course of the morning and into the afternoon, and eventually we should be up into the mid 80s as we work our way into the 3 and 4 o'clock time frame. And then as we work our way into the evening hours, temperatures will get back down to right around 80 degrees by 5 p.m. So it'll be extremely comfortable for us throughout the entire day, because with temperatures in the 80s and dew points in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees, that puts us in a great shape. And you notice those dew point temperatures don't really change much at all as we work our way throughout the course of the day today. Satellite radar picture is nice and quiet for us, not only locally, but regionally as well. Best storm chances are still well off to our west, and they will not arrive until late in the day Wednesday. So this evening, if you have plans, sunset is at 9:13. Just a light north wind, temperatures falling back down into the 70s. You can open up the windows overnight tonight and turn off the air conditioners or give them a little bit of a break, and we will see the temperatures fall back down into the 50s and 60s. In fact, tomorrow morning there actually could be more 50s around than there are this morning. Tomorrow temperatures are back into the mid upper 80s with mostly sunny skies. No threat of any rain in tomorrow's forecast either. And as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, though, you will notice some storms returning late in the day on Wednesday, and those storms could be pretty strong overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. Thursday slightly cooler at 88 degrees, but then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, looking ahead to next weekend, the heat and humidity returns with the chance of storms in the forecast as well. At this point, though, once we get past the better storm chance on Thursday, the weekend storms look to be just those spotty ones building up in the afternoon hours.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at your Monday morning drive right now. This is up on the north side of town where traffic's moving along just fine, both eastbound and westbound. This is I-465, a view from Westfield Boulevard. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads throughout the morning and let you know if there are any crashes or delays. Well, people all around the country have been protesting racial injustice and police brutality since the death of George Floyd. One man out in Alabama is advocating his own way by walking from his home all the way up to Minneapolis. Terry Willis started his march more than a month ago in Huntsville. On Sunday, he and a large crowd of supporters finally reached the end of the spot where Floyd was killed.
I feel great. I feel good. I feel all the love. I feel all the support from my people right here, right now. I've never felt this, and I feel it right now.
Well, Minneapolis mayor honored the accomplishment by declaring Sunday Terry Willis Day. For the first time in recorded history, a black woman is set to be a U.S. Navy tactical pilot. In a tweet, Lieutenant Madeline Swigel said that she is receiving her Wings of Gold this month. Naval Air Training Command also congratulated her on that accomplishment. Military magazine Stars and Stripes says she'll likely fly the Super Hornets, Growlers, or Joint Strike Fighters. Congratulations. From Jackie Robinson baseball cards to autographed Babe Ruth memorabilia, this baseball collection has it all. Now it's being auctioned off. So after the break, the story behind the man who built one of the biggest collections of all time. It is 5:22. We'll be right back.
At Grand Canyon University, visit gcu.edu.
Welcome back. A baseball collection like no other was auctioned off over the weekend. The cards are just part of what is thought to be one of the biggest collections ever. It belonged to James Michione, and he was nicknamed Uncle Jimmy. He wasn't a millionaire. Instead, he was just a blue-collar worker and a lifelong baseball fan. He kept cards, autographs, ticket stubs, and more. But when Jimmy died this past year at the age of 97, it was time for some of these rare items to find a new home.
It was like walking through the Baseball Hall of Fame, going through everything. And his collection and the name Uncle Jimmy Collection is going down forever in the accolades of the sports card industry.
Wow, well, the collection is said to be worth several $1 million. In Sunday's auction, a signed 1933 Babe Ruth card sold for $130,000. And I'm guessing since he was 97, Todd, and he had kept all those cards, he didn't want the money for them. He just enjoyed collecting them.
Yeah, you know, you get to a point, you know, where money is not as important as it once was, and it's probably better and, you know, more important for him to just pass those along to the Hall of Fame. So that is awesome to see, and it brings back memories of the baseball cards I think are still in my mom's closet, or my closet in my home back in New Jersey. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with quiet conditions. We're in the 50s and 60s across the area. 57 Zionsville, 56 Monticello, 62 Indianapolis. The skies starting to brighten on this Monday morning. It's going to be an absolutely terrific day for us with low humidity, a high temperature of 85 degrees. Today is the best weather day of the week. So we make sure you get out there and enjoy. By the end of the week, we start to build back in the heat and the humidity.
Todd, thank you. A new effort is underway to help those experiencing homelessness in Hendricks County. Just ahead this morning on Good Morning Indiana, we'll take a look inside one of the first tiny houses at Camp Canby. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Williams Show, today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Nearly a dozen people killed in the Circle City over the weekend. Now at 5:30, the plan from faith leaders to stop the violence and save lives.
And Lauren, for the first time in nearly 20 years, a federal prisoner is set to be executed right here in Indiana. We're live in Terre Haute this morning with the very latest.
And it is 5:30. I want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. Raphael, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us down in Johnson County.
Lauren, I hope you had a great weekend. Yeah. I started a new campaign this week. It's going to be called #Humidity Stay Away. Todd Clausen, I want you to be the president of our club because I think only you can make it happen.
You know, I think I can make it happen today, and for the most part tomorrow, Raphael. I'll probably get voted out by the end of the week, though, most likely, because here, it's July in Indiana. We're going to be dealing with heat and humidity, and it eventually comes back in. That's why you need to take advantage of what I call these bonus days where we have great conditions. A live look outside right now, and you can see the sky starting to brighten as you look from downtown to the north. And today is going to be absolutely a terrific day for you anywhere you are across central Indiana. We're all going to enjoy comfortable temperatures, a low humidity, and lots of sunshine. 63 in Bloomington as well as Muncie right now, 60 in Lafayette, some 50s out there. Look, Marion down to 55 this morning, right at 60 in Anderson, 61 in Logansport with the clear skies. These temperatures will warm quite steadily once the sun comes up with high pressure in control. We will see the sunshine work its way through the area the entire day. 77 degrees by the noon hour, still low humidity at 82 degrees, and then our high temperature right where we need to be this time of year, and that's at 85 degrees. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic on the northwest side. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-65, a little south of 38th Street, where everything's moving along up to speed, both northbound and southbound. No crashes to report around the metro area at this early hour to slow down your commute. Well, the first federal execution in nearly 2 decades will happen today out in Terre Haute.
And that's where Alyssa Donovan is this morning with details on the execution and how it will almost it did not happen.
And that's right, Raphael. Daniel Lewis Lee will be put to death by lethal injection at 4 o'clock this afternoon. This after an appeals panel rejected a lawsuit from family members of Lee's victims who wanted this execution delayed due to concerns about the coronavirus pandemic. 47-year-old Daniel Lewis Lee was convicted of killing a family of 3 in Arkansas in 1996 as part of a plot to fund a whites-only nation. His execution will be the first of a federal inmate in 17 years. There has been an informal moratorium on federal executions, while states, to varying degrees, continue to put convicted criminals to death. Family of Lee's victims sued the Justice Department, arguing they could not safely travel to witness the execution because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Now it's not just about how we feel about commuting his sentence to life. We're like, aside from all of that, does no one care about our health and well-being? I haven't ridden in a car with my family members outside of my house in 3 months. And now I'm going to be expected to go into a prison where they have told me we cannot socially distance. My grandma's 81 years old. If she wants to go, we can't socially distance.
Family members of the victims say they've been asking for this execution all along, but to do it right now when it's unsafe feels like a slap in the face to their family. They plan to file an appeal to the Supreme Court about the ruling. This would have to happen before 4 today to stop the execution. And Lee is one of 4 people set to be executed at this facility. 2 more men will be put to death later this week, and then another execution is scheduled for August. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. It is 5:34, and this morning we're still working to learn more about what led up to a deadly shooting on the city's west side. This happened just before 9:20 last night around the 2600 block of North Harding Street. Police tell us that they were patrolling the area when gunshots were heard. The victim, a man in his 50s, was found nearby. He died a short time later at the hospital. No suspect or victim information has been released. If you know anything about this crime, please call Crime Stoppers.
Lauren, faith leaders are coming together in hopes of reducing the violence in Indianapolis. It's a call to action to save lives after another violent weekend. Our Kelsey Anderson, she joins us live to tell us more about what happened and about this call to action being done over the next couple of days. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So as Lauren said earlier, nearly a dozen people were killed this weekend, making that 119 Hoosiers who have lost their lives to violence this year in Indianapolis. And now faith-based leaders are stepping up, asking the community and elected officials to help end this violence. They want to use tactics that they say were used between 2000 and 2012 when violence numbers were at a lower rate than they are right now. They have a 5-step plan they are proposing. First, clergy and community leaders want to meet with IMPD Chief Randall Taylor and Mayor Hogsett to discuss a safety plan with 25 recommendations. Second, they are calling on neighborhood groups, community centers, and faith-based groups to create violence-free zones in hotspots. Third, they plan to hold weekly public safety walks in those areas and want everyone to join in. The first will be this Thursday in Hallville. Fourth, launching the Peace in the Streets marketing campaign. And finally, asking religious organizations to promote peace in worship services during the month of August.
Getting a gun, a knife, a weapon of any sort is not the means to solving any kind of conflict that you have. We are at 118 homicides. And you know what's sad? While we're 30% of the population, we're nearly 80% of the homicide victims.
They say they know in order to reduce the violence in Indianapolis, they need to work with the people living in the communities that are being impacted. They believe that their 5 steps that they proposed will save lives in our city. So leaders are hoping to meet with Mayor Hogsett later today. We will, of course, follow this initiative and keep you updated with where they stand with elected officials. I'm Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Now to the latest on the COVID-19 outbreak here in Indiana. State health officials are reporting 560 new coronavirus cases. That brings the total positive cases to 51,612. 4 new deaths were also reported. So far, 2,500 Hoosiers have died from COVID-19. More than 500,000 people have been tested for the virus in our state. Just over 9% of those are positive.
The city market business owners, they're frustrated, they're angry, they're upset with the conditions outside the downtown landmark. They say they've seen an increase in illegal activity, trash, drug use. All they say has hurt their bottom line. Now they've developed a plan to make the area less welcoming to people hanging around the landmark, including shutting off outdoor outlets, increasing security patrols, and adding more lighting. Sunday, community activists gathered to send a message to those businesses. They say it is more important than ever to reach out to those in need instead of turning them away.
We wanted to make sure that it was very clear that we're not going to stop feeding people. We're not going to stop reaching out to this community, and we're here to support them just like we would any other Hoosier.
Business owners we have talked to downtown say regular customers have started thinking twice about coming to shop because of the mess and the crowds outside of City Market. Some say there's a perception that it's not safe and say it's a much bigger issue than just homelessness. They say there's drug use and drug deals happening out in the open. Lauren?
Raphael, meanwhile, another tiny home village could soon be coming to central Indiana. This is a project by a tiny act of kindness that aims to create a community of tiny homes for people experiencing homelessness. The project will focus on intervening early and providing access to supportive services for residents. Due to the pandemic, they don't know how soon they can start building, but they hope to start soon.
With COVID-19, as you can imagine, the homeless community is at risk because there aren't very many sanitary options, and within the shelters, they're very close in proximity to each other. And the nice thing about the tiny homes is that they can self-isolate. They can stay home and be away from other individuals, whereas in the situation that we're in now, they cannot.
Tiny Act of Kindness is partnering with Active Grace, the owners and operators of Camp Canby in Hendricks County. Their goal is to build 25 to 30 tiny homes that will be paid for with donations. If the project is successful, they've applied for a grant to also build a tiny home village for those experiencing homelessness in Marion County. At 5:40, let's check in with Todd and get a look at today's forecast. ATK.
And it's a great forecast for you no matter what you want to do here across central Indiana today, Lauren. Of course, the pool would be a great place to be. If you have one of your own, or you can head some of the public ones that are open as well. But make sure you have the sunscreen on, as the UV index is about just as high as it can go today. Burn time is only about 10 to 15 minutes, but otherwise it's going to be sunny and seasonable throughout the day today with that high temperature of 85 degrees. As far as the temperatures this morning, we are in great shape right now. We are sitting in the 50s and 60s across parts of the area. Today is the best day of the week weather-wise. Tomorrow's not bad, but then things start to get hot and humid once again. More on that coming up in just a little bit.
Todd, thank you so much. We will just have to enjoy Monday and Tuesday. More than half of the country is now seeing a spike in coronavirus cases, and health officials say the upward trend does not seem to be easing. Straight ahead, why the White House is now questioning its top coronavirus expert.
And today, the Washington Redskins could be no more. Coming up, details on the team's plan for a major rebrand. The time right now is 5:41. Stick around. We'll be right back.
ChoiceHotels.com.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. New this morning, actress Kelly Preston has died at the age of 57. Preston, who was married to John Travolta, passed away Sunday after a 2-year battle against breast cancer. She had been undergoing medical treatment for some time, supported by her closest family and friends, and a family representative said to the media. She is best known for her roles in Jerry Maguire, For the Love of the Game, and Twins. Preston is survived by husband John Travolta and their children. Daughter Ella, 20 years old, and 9-year-old Benjamin, her son. Their son Jet died at the age of 16 in January of 2009.
Recovery efforts for former Glee actress Naya Rivera will continue today. The 33-year-old went missing Wednesday while boating with her 4-year-old son. Officials say another boater discovered the child on board, asleep and alone. Rivera was nowhere to be found. On Sunday, her family and friends joined the search team. Authorities are using sonar equipment and specially trained dog to search the murky waters and say the recovery operation could take days. Lake Piru is the result of a canyon that was dammed and flooded. The plan to drop the level of the lake is planned for next month. That plan was in place well before Rivera's disappearance.
About 2/3 of the states are seeing coronavirus cases climbing, this as the country prepares to start the school year in just a matter of weeks. Jonathan Lawrence has more.
The United States has yet to get the upper hand on COVID-19. More than 3.3 million Americans have been infected with the virus.
What we're looking at is what I think is going to be one of the most unstable times in the history of our country.
At least 33 states are seeing a rise in week-to-week new cases, according to Johns Hopkins University. That includes the more than 15,000 infections reported in Florida on Saturday, a single-day record.
We're going to have to start moving regular beds into ICU beds, so we're clearly being strained at this point.
In the middle of this crisis, President Trump and some others in the White House are questioning Dr. Anthony Fauci, a member of the administration's coronavirus task force.
Dr. Fauci is the most respected voice in the country on how we ought to be dealing with this pandemic. And to be trying to sideline him or diminish him or discredit him is just atrocious.
Fauci is among the health officials still stressing the importance of facial coverings, and Mr. Trump made his first public appearance with a mask Saturday during a visit to Walter Reed Medical Center.
I've never been against masks, but I do believe they have a time and a place.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The time right now is 5:45. Colts owner Jim Irsay is reaching out to fans about the upcoming NFL season. In a letter, he explained some of the changes the league is instituting and how that will impact the game day experience. According to Irsay, there will be a modified preseason schedule. Stadium capacity will be reduced to comply with social distancing guidelines set by the CDC. The letter also mentions additional health and safety protocols, including face coverings, but does not give specific details. For more information, you can just go to the IndyChannel.com.
Laura, we have other big news from the NFL. The league's Washington, D.C. franchise expected to change its name as early as today. Now, the team has resisted calls to change its nickname, which many say is simply just insensitive to Native Americans. ABC's Ines de la Cuetera has more from Washington.
This morning, Washington's football team on the verge of retiring its name.
Touchdown, Redskins!
Multiple reports saying the Redskins will reveal a new nickname as early as today.
I heard that the NFL is starting to take steps to tell everybody who has Washington's nickname on its platform to start scrubbing it. Start taking it off, which means something's coming.
The franchise has been called the Redskins since 1933, before it moved from Boston to Washington in 1937. The name, a hotly contested debate for decades. Washington owner Daniel Snyder telling USA Today in 2013 that we will never change the name of the team, adding, as a lifelong Redskins fan, and I think that the Redskins fans understand the great tradition and what it's all about and what it means. The recent focus on race relations bringing new scrutiny to the team's name.
The fact that even today, as I say this despicable name has not yet changed is a national outrage and disgrace.
Earlier this month, reports that the team is ditching the Native America imagery from its logo after FedEx threatened to pull its stadium rights sponsor, and Amazon, Nike, Walmart, Target discontinuing the sale of the team's merchandise. Snyder then announcing a thorough review of the team's name.
Ines de la Cuetera, ABC News, Washington.
All right, beautiful day here in central Indiana getting started. Here is a live look for you from downtown to the north of the sunrise that is taking place, and there's not a cloud in the sky this morning. And to go along with these clear skies, temperatures are very, very comfortable. Hope you were able to maybe turn off the air condition a little bit here throughout the overnight hours and open up the windows with temperatures that are in the 50s in some locations there, from Greenfield up to Tipton at 59 degrees, 60 in Martinsville, 63 is the current temperature in Bloomington. So a wonderful start to our work week across the area temperature-wise, and for that matter with the sky cover. And throughout the entire day, it's going to just be really, really nice. Mostly sunny skies, 76 degrees by the noon hour. with our high temperature later on this afternoon getting up to 85 degrees. That's exactly where our high temperature normally should be this time of year. So it's just a perfect day for us here in the middle of July, in the middle of summer for that matter. The satellite radar picture is nice and quiet, not only here in central Indiana, but across much of the Midwest, as high pressure is firmly in control of our forecast. With high pressure in control, we'll have just a light north wind. The humidity will not come up today. And eventually, as this high starts to slide off towards the east, that's when some of those storms to our west will start to make their way into our forecast, but probably not until late in the day on Wednesday. That's the next best chance. Temperatures will fall back down into the 70s this evening pretty quickly as the sun starts to set. Official sunrise is at 9:13 this evening, and then as you wake up tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to be in the 50s and 60s once again. So it's another great sleeping night for you overnight tonight and then into the morning hours tomorrow. And tomorrow we're up a couple degrees from today, 87, 88 degrees for your high temperature. For your Tuesday, still mostly sunny skies. And then the change is going to start to arrive as we work our way into the day on Wednesday. Most of Wednesday will be dry. Late in the day, though, we'll start to bring in the chance of some storms, and then the storm chance will continue. At this point, it looks like into the early morning hours on Thursday, with the potential of maybe some stronger storms. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on for you before you go to bed Wednesday, but a lot of time to fine-tune the timing of that front as it starts to head in our direction. And then once that front goes through, by the end of the week, the heat returns. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are looking at high temperatures that'll be back up into the mid-90s. The humidity is going to come up as well. So today, tomorrow, your days to enjoy the beautiful weather. Wednesday, we get up to 90 degrees, a little cooler on Thursday again with the more clouds and storms around. And then the heat and humidity is going to build back in, as we mentioned, by the weekend.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. Here's a look on the near east side of town at I-70 here at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. You can see everything is traveling smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. Keep in mind if you're traveling on the east side out near Post Road, we do have some construction and some ramp closures for road construction, so be aware of that. Other than that, traffic here is traveling up to speed for your commute on the east side.
So, Lauren, Disney's Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom are open to all guests for the first time in 4 months. This is video provided by Disney of all the new safety precautions that they're taking into effect, including temperature checks, social distancing, and requiring all guests, except those under the age of 2, to wear a mask. The reopening of Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom come as Florida continues to see an increase in positive COVID-19 cases. Sunday, the Florida Department of Health reported more than 15,000 new cases. Now, Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios are scheduled to reopen on Wednesday.
Well, Walmart is preparing to launch a service similar to Amazon Prime. It's called Walmart Plus. A yearly subscription is expected to cost $98. It will likely include same-day delivery, fuel discounts, and other perks. Grocery options are also reportedly included to take on Amazon's ownership of Whole Foods. Walmart has already been experimenting with the one-day delivery in some areas. The company hasn't made any public comments, but a teaser website has been launched, and that indicates the service is, quote, almost here.
So the Hallmark Channel is getting you into the holiday spirit, but listen up with some new spirits coming up. How you can get your hands on the company's new Christmas-themed wines. That and much more coming up right here on RTV6.
Easy, even Petey can do it.
Welcome back. The time right now is 5:55 on your Monday, and here's a live look at traffic at I-465 and I-74 on the southeast side of town. You can see everything here is traveling smoothly. No crashes, no delays right now around the metro area for your commute. So, Raphael, wine and Hallmark movies have always gone hand in hand, and now the company's taking it a step further by introducing Christmas-themed wines.
And Lauren, I'm home, so now you know what's in the official Good Morning Indiana cup as I read the story.
Okay.
See, Hallmark themed up with wines that rock to create two different but very festive red And red and white wines here in the official GMI Cup. Jingle is a full-bodied Cabernet Sauvignon with notes of cherry, dark chocolate, and a subtle holiday spice, while Joy is a crisp Sauvignon Blanc with notes of tropical fruits, white peach, and pineapple. Now, both bottles go for $14 each. You can pre-order them now, and they'll ship straight to your door in October, just in time for the launch of this year's Countdown to Christmas on the Hallmark Channel. But if you're working from home these days and you have your own blender, you can make your own wine at any time.
Oh my goodness. All right, Raphael.
Just wanted to point that out.
Okay. Well, hey, for $14, you made it sound like a $50 bottle the way you read that, so very fun. All right, Todd, it's not Christmas yet, and it sure doesn't feel like it outside. It's been a really warm July.
You know, July opened on a streak of 90-degree temperatures with the exception of one day. On the second, we got up to 89, and then we kind of flipped the script a little bit over this past weekend, which was some welcomed relief with the lower humidity. But we're going to continue the nice stretch of weather for today and tomorrow before the heat and humidity builds back in. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that as we get towards the end of the week. But 56 right now in Zionsville as well as Monticello, 63 in Bloomington, 85 today with sunny skies. We'll talk more about the forecast in detail coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues.